This is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for your guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 92. I know the last few videos is open about object-oriented programming. I gave you like a simple one, and then I gave you one that's simple but with more stuff in it. And then I gave you one that has all kinds of stuff, plus this weird how you can make a variable value into a variable. Remember that one? And now I'm going to give you this one because I want to deal with this new sign up form. You put the username and password, and it will sign up. Check the database and stuff, and that's about it. But we're not going to give you all the security stuff. All I want to do is teach you how to use object-oriented programming, so that way you can open up that database so you can enter and I guess select. All these other fancy stuff like updates, deletes, and all that stuff, we'll do that on another time when I break it down to more deep into the object oriented. But right now I'm doing this so that way you will remember when you go to the most simple stuff, it's going to click. And I do things like that all the time. I usually go to like the most sophisticated stuff when I'm learning, and I look at it and I try my best, and I research it, and I play with it, and I go, oh yeah, and then I go back to the basics, and then boom, everything clicks. It's just like a book, you're interested in a book, you want to learn something, and what happens is, what do? You look a little bit of the index, but what I really do is I go to the, not like a table of contents, but what I do is I go back to the index and I look and I search what I'm looking for. There's a few things there that points me to what I want, and the reason why I want to buy the book, then I buy the book. That's how I do it. Then I go to the pages, I look at it, goes, okay, this looks more like what I want. Yeah, okay, cool. This is perfect. And then I go buy the book. So that's what I was doing. Giving you more simple, a little bit more better simple, like more advanced, and then a more advanced stuff with all crap. And now I'm going to do this one, which is the sign up form, which you can actually add to this template, because you have a template here, right? You can add that to the template if you like. Let's do, no, that's not the one. Let's go here. And well, now we're going to do this, okay? Look, it's the same thing on the other one. And this is how we're going to show you. I kind of gave you more like I'll probably do another one, like it's a little bit more advanced. So that one, when we go back to the other normal learning the basic of object-oriented program, I'm going to break it down to simpler form, and I'm going to do it in several videos. It will click. You're going to be like, ah, I see, wow, oh, okay, that kind of thing. All right, so again, just a reminder in case you just came straight to this and didn't see my other videos, object-oriented programming is a paradigm. Remember, it works on PHP, works on a lot of languages. It's just a paradigm. That's all it is. It's based on the concept of objects. You know what I mean? It's not just PHP specific. Yes, you're using PHP, but it's all C does it, C plus, all that, JavaScript. You know what I mean? Java. They all do it. So it's just a paradigm. It's just a way of doing things. And now I'll explain more. And it's all based on concepts of objects. Like everything, if you're gonna do a object about, I don't know, a bus driver going to the bus, going to different stops, getting the people in. You would describe that. Well, you make everything into an object, and the way you do that is by using properties and stuff like that. So the object can contain data, it can contain fields, attributes, and it contain properties. It have actions that they're performed, that can be performed, like a function, and basically it's called a method, right? The input stuff, that information that you get when you input a form here, that's going to be fields, we call them properties, and the action, of course, is the procedures, right? Or function, but in this case, methods. So far I have been showing you how to do the procedural programming. Remember when I did all these other things, the more heavy stuff, right? When you're checking for security of a form and all that, putting in the data. We went through all that, and that was using the procedural program. And writing procedural program, I like the best, but hey, I also like object-oriented program when it comes to connecting to database and stuff like that. So the method that's perform operation of the data, the OOP, again, it's like creating objects, and that's about it. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't want to repeat myself, but if I have to, I'll do it again. So again, object-oriented program has several advantages, right? Over the procedure. I like procedure because you mix and match. You can make it into spaghetti. You don't want that, but I do a lot of functions, and I do a lot of includes and stuff, and I line them up, and I know what I need first before I do this. And I call them. I try to emulate a little bit what the object programming paradigm is, but the OOP is a lot faster and is easier to execute. It provides a clear structure for the programs. It helps to keep the PHP code dry. Like, don't, remember we mentioned dry. Don't repeat yourself. And it makes the code easier to maintain, to modify, and debug. Man, the word debug, huh? Yeah, it's great. Like fixing errors, you know. It's like the lady who invented the algorithm. She was looking at the back of the computer with the tubing, so they used to use tube. There was a morph stuck to it. That's what that word came from, debug. Get it, like getting it off. And the Agile, it makes it possible to create full reusable application with less code and, of course, shorter development time. It depends, because I know I've taken time too, and it was like really heavy-duty things. But it is complicated at first, and how about if we, what should we do? We should, before we even, let's see. This is the form, right? This is the actual menu. This is what it looks like. Remember, we've seen this before. You notice how I put this in here? Months. This runs, remember, it gives you a password of whatever you want to put in here. And then it comes here, and where's the format? Ooh, where's the form? Right here, the form. And then you run it, and it puts it into the value right here. Plus, nobody will see that because you got it hidden. You will have to kind of like, let's see. You will have to go here, see what happened. I made my stuff disappear. Where was that? Oh, there it goes. That's kind of crazy. So you go to the form. Let's go to the form. See, right here. You notice this? Let's move this up a little bit. Right there, look. Value. See this? This is what gets sent to the destination. And it's hidden. As you can see, you don't see it anywhere here. You see it here because I'm showing you my, but over here, where is it? You don't see it, right? It's not there because it's hidden. And this information you get from running this form, this function, which is right here. This is the function that does it. So I'm giving it to you anyway to have it there because this is basically how I do things, and get into practice to doing this stuff. Now, of course, you got your dynamic, menu, and the menu, fixed menu, like this one, right? And then it starts the script right here. This is your form. New sign up form, blah blah blah. You've seen this before. You have your name. Remember that each input, which happens to be this and this, and even this, they all have some kind of name associated with it. Also, it's a good idea to have an ID for separate stuff. And this is it. And of course, I use the placeholder. That's what gives you this stuff right here. I think it's inside there. And that's about it. This is what it is. So then it calls, the form calls, do I have it? Yeah, I have it over here. All right, see this form right here will call, once you hit this information, you'll hit the sign up, it'll go here. You notice this? It says the new as user, new as pass. So if you go look, here it goes, new as user, new as, why do I have, why did I not change that? Well, that's okay, we can keep it like that anyway. In reality, just make sure the end is, big, or make the end here small. Anyway, then I said that I agreed to be one. That's something that we're going to put in the database for you to put this information in. Then, of course, you got your class. Remember the classes that we developed, which is this. Let's put space here. And then, of course, in this situation, instead of having the assignment like down here somewhere, because you're not doing, or here, right, like the last time. Oh, by the way, I kept the JavaScript stuff, right, for the bad words and stuff like that. Just kept it there. All I had to do is just replace some stuff, and the only thing that you got to concentrate is the script that you're going to send this information to. So right now we got it private. Everything is private. It's only private when it comes to username, password, and credentials of a database. Make sure it's private, and only this here, and within this class, you can get to it. Unless you do a get and a set. Okay, now in this case, I am assigning host this information here. This is all fake. The real life stuff, you just make sure you put here whatever the credential is, like what's the host name if you're doing localhost, or if you're in a place like Name, Hero, and all these other hosting companies, you got to put the IP address, username and password, what's the name of the database. This you $D PDO, that's what we're going to be using, and of course this $STMT, meaning statement. And then what you do is, remember what I told you, when you, the moment you, where are we? The moment you do this, oh, by the way, this, let me see, from here on, as you can see, it's class. Once your class is done, then you could run this. In the other examples that I showed you, the videos before this one, you didn't have it in a try, but in reality, you want to tell PHP that you want to try. You want to try this, and if it doesn't work, then let's say you get an error, that catch will get that error, and this is how it's done. Let me put a space here. I hope that way you can read it better when I send it to you. Just remember that when you get this, you change this with the stuff that you got. Your personal productions hosting company will give you that information. Or if you know how to look for it, then fine. Okay, so it does that, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you have a problem, and this will catch it, and this is how it's done. You say, because we're going to be using PDO. People use the other ones, like the MySQL stuff. Even though you are using MySQL database, the actual database, but within what is that, PHP script, you can use MySQL. I prefer PDO because you can, with the PDO, you get to a lot of different type of databases, or different ones. So in this case, if you have a problem with this stuff here, right, this will give you an error, and it will be captured. This is, see, get it? Catch, PDO exception, $E. This will capture it. Now that this has become the object, and of course you're going to run the method that's called get message that is within this PDO exception. You don't make this up. This is the PHP giving it to you. But if everything works out, you're gonna go like this. You're gonna execute, and that's it. That's it. Now, as long as you get all this stuff done, that's it. You gotta do. All right. So again, remember how we used the binding before the switch? But in this case, I'm going to check to see it is null. See if the type is null. If for some reason that it is null, like it's going to use the bind, and you could say dollar. If for some reason that null thing, that's that type, dollar type, nothing gets in there, this will be your default. Okay, this will be your default, and that's how that works. It could get complicated and stuff. Now you will notice that this, where are we? See, maybe I should, I'll tell you what, let me let's put a little space here so that way you can see it better. Okay, here it goes, much better. Let's see, we do this, that will go together with that thing, and let's space it out a little bit so you can see it better. See, the DNS is going to create, first of all, you're going to be using a username and password. Of course, you're going to be using the host in the database name. And of course, you're going to use that DSN, you know what I mean? And that will domain, the source name. So then this is how you do it. You're going to make sure you put this information. And as you can see, the $this host is here. Look, $this host. And the $this DB name and $this DB name is here. Alright, and then of course over here you're going to be username and password. And with the option that's right there, and the option is a, right now I create, basically in the option all you do is put you know, one of these things here. Like the fetch, remember the fetch? I want you to go like this, video fetch, and put it right here. But what happens if you get other stuff like the exceptions or error mode or the default switch? I like to make sure that's included inside your option. Now this becomes an array. As you can see, you got your little square bracket. That's what tells it that this is an array. And depending on what it is, so that happens, it'll just pick whatever it is. If you're doing like what is that called? The index, the insert, you'll do this. Oh, when you do the select, I'm sorry, I take that back. When you do the select and you're selecting the database or the table, you're going to get back a fetch. It's an array, and this is the actual attribute that you need. You don't really need to put that stuff there because it will do it automatically. It's always going to be the fetch this when you're doing when you want to select. But right now, we're going to use this like this, right? This is what is that? This is an array, and it's just going to pick whichever it is here. This is an associated array. As you can see, you got a little rocket ship. Not an arrow, rocket ship. All right, it does this. Then you're going to try. I'll say, I'm going to try this. PDO equals new, and now it creates an object, PDO. If everything works out, this works nicely, nothing happens. It skips over this. But if there's a problem with this, Catch will get it for you, and it'll throw a new, like a message. Okay? Then we created a function, a public one, query, because this is what we're going to use for queries. And the way we did it was I added a $SQL, and that's what you're going to be using. And this is of course, I'm about to talk to you about it, just with the arrow. That's like within this class. And then, of course, this is how you call the object and the prepare statement. You have to kind of do it like this. And with the prepare statement, it's going to take the SQL stuff, which you're going to see, well, you'll see in a moment. Let's not get ahead. You know something, try to memorize this stuff and try to write this stuff and then put your own comments so you can, your own error messages. Like put it in here as a comment, and that way you can remember what the hell is it you're doing. Memorize this. This is a good one. This whole page, memorize it. Okay, and then when you create a prepare statement under the what you got, the regular way of doing things, right? You always have the prepare statement because it's the best way to do it, because it's a great security. It helps with that. It helps with because of the what is that? The SQL ingestion. You don't want that. Prepare statement isn't what you need. Plus, if you're going to add information that goes with the prepare statement, like a placeholder, then you're going to need a value, and that's what the bind does. Bind. Remember I showed you too how it's done before? Well, this is doing it the way it would, like right here. This is how it's done in OOP. You're going to check to see if there's no, meaning that if it's just nothing in there. And if for some reason you couldn't get anything, this will do it for you, right? So it goes, so no, is it no? You go like this. If it is, then I want you to do this. So is it integer, that's what this is. And it gives you type of PDF parameter integer. If it's a boolean, like true or false, then it will give you a boolean. Then if it's, what you would call it, is no, meaning that there's nothing in there, like a no, then you do this, right? This is all for just so you can keep track, so you can do this stuff right here. Then comes the break. Remember, everything is break, so that way you do the first one. If it's that, then it breaks out. But if you do this one, then it breaks out, and if you do this one, then it breaks out. But if none of this works, then you get a default. So then what you do is you go, okay, this is a statement. Another statement. This one right here. Where are we? Okay. So this is what the statement is right here. And within that statement, you got a thing called bind value, and this is what I'm talking about. The parameter, the value, and the type, which is these things here. Then you create another function that says to execute, because you want to execute this. Remember, you recognize some of these things. See how it's put inside a PDO, inside a object-oriented class with all this information. This is how it's done, right? Checks to see this, and then it does the binding together with the type, because you're going to be using that over here. Then you got your param, you got your val, this is value, param. It's not doing anything until you work it, and right now it's not doing anything. This one is executing this, but we're not doing anything yet. Then we did this one, the result sets should be here once you execute it. This way you can, if you find a data, if you select records within a table, this will fetch it for you. It executes it, fetches it for you, then it returns the select fetch, whatever it was, which will probably be an array anyway. Then you got the single. You execute. If you do single things, then the same idea. You execute this, that, and then you got the row count. This keep track of your counts, and as you can see, which is not much. We got these two things. Then what happens is this is single, same thing. That's for single. This one is for the whole array, because it'd be like associated array. This one is just fetch, just the one thing, and the row count will give you just the count, how many rows. So if you got 10 records, then it'll be 10. You'll see 10. And this is how it's done. This is how it's done. But it doesn't do anything until you call it. So you do this try, do this, it does that. And let me see, should I do, hold on a second. I guess I wanted to explain a little bit about, like this one right here. right? This one is an attribute that controls how your PDO should behave on an error. So when you get the exception, right? You get this, and this will be the exception. Then the errors, I don't know if we have it here. If I needed to do it something like, let me see, I'm going to put it over here. It will be something like PDO, ERRMOD, and then underscore silence. Now that one is like, it's a default. It's like the PDO will not raise any warning or throw exception in the case of an error if you want to use silence. And if you want it, then it's up to you to inspect the PHP error code. Do we have it there? Yeah, that's it right there. And then there is another one called, that one was for underscore silence. That will raise anywhere up to 5. And then you call then it's up to you to use the error code. Where is it? What's that? It's not added here, but there is something called error code. It would be something like let me see, error code. Something like this. You get to use that, and there's another one called the error info method. On both of these statement, the PDO object will determine your error, the different types of error. Normally I do this real good, correctly, so I don't get the error, but sometimes I do forget to, or I misspelled something that when I go try, I will get an error. Those kind of things. So then you got the error. There's also like these, like this one right here. You got the ones that say PDO, like no, right here. This is a better one. Like this one, right? The exception. You got warning. You got like underscore warning. This one is the exception. The one that says warning, it says. Didn't want to write it up, but oops, it goes like this. Mode, and I'm going to put down warning like that. See, it will be something like that, warning. But I don't want to use this here. So what happens is that it emits a warning message. Remember that on the thing called E_warning? A long time ago, we kind of learned about the error messages. Well, it uses that in addition to setting the error code and the message. So PDO error exception, right? This one that you're seeing up there, that throws a PDO exception, which is, where is it? This guy right here. Oh, I'll tell you what. See this whole page, everything here, this whole class, use it that way. And you will see that it will work. It will do everything it's supposed to. I would like to put comments on all these things, but it will make it more, little, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that. And there's another one that's called like PDO : and it says alter the emulated prepares. That one is setting the what is that? The attribute emulate to a true, and that can bypass some restriction on the SQL server. Right now, doing this way, I'm doing it because I'm using MySQL. You'll be able to use SQL Server too. From who does it? I guess Microsoft has that, right? So you can use that and you can do all these little different things. But if you use what I got right now, it's gonna work. Everything's gonna be fine. And there's another one called emulate prepares. I've already discussed that with you. What else do I have? I can't. Well, if I remember, I'll mention it to you. So again, for each connection of the PDA, the PDOs that makes to the connection to the database, it supports attribute to specify how the PDO should behave, and that's why you got all these weird looking error code. But use the one that I have here. Use these here. You're gonna be okay. You'll be safe this way. All right. And then so what I did was I could, of course, put it in an array, and then of course you put it in here. And this when this happens, of course it's gonna know what it is, what type of error that you'll get. Once it sees what type of error it does this PDO, and then you're gonna get all your exception, right errors that will mean something to you. Try is a fantastic stuff. That try and catch. Before I used to do things well, but then I like that try and catch because you try it. If you get an error, the catch will do it for you. It'll take it from you. It's good stuff, right? You like it? Yes? No? What do you think? So again, it does this. It creates a function for this for a prepare statement. This will bind your value with the actual placeholder, and then which will bind the value right here. See right here, you've seen this before. It's just that right now we're using it as a OOP, and it's possible we're using classes. It's basically the same thing. And then you have your execution. You have your public function result sets, which executes and it fetches everything. Remember I told you all like this. It fetches everything, puts it in an array, returns that array, and you're gonna need this because you're gonna be using this one is for single. Like and say, please find me in this table a name Bill. The single stuff, this is what we're gonna be using. Stuff that is the whole thing, because you wanna select asterisk from whatever table it is, it'll go here, it'll do this part right here. And of course you got your row count, because you want a row count. Now remember, all this is not doing anything. You're just setting it up. Make sure you set it up like this whole thing. Make sure you set it. By the way, this is going to be copied as a TXT file, and of course your PHP, and I'll put it in the description below. Now I'm going to do the actual, see this right here? Because this is not doing anything. This is a function, this is a construct, right? So what happens is when you're over here, this is the actual class. Now you can also try another try. You can do a try. Try this, solve this, and if there's a problem, right? Let's see. Give me another error message. This try is just for this stuff. This try here is for the connection of the actual database. Okay? If you do it like this, you can't go wrong. All you have to do is fix this stuff for the updates, for the deletes and stuff. Right now we're inserting, right? So what happens is now when I send the username and password, the username, I wonder if I can kind of give you the actual, I was thinking about giving you the actual, what the database would look like. I think I showed you how that is done. Let's see. Sing the song. All right, let me see. I want to go back to right here. See, look, this is the placeholder I was talking about. And you're going to bind them. See how we got it here? Bind the placeholder and whatever you're getting from here. Where is it? From here. So you do this and then now the password, the agree, remember the agree? Happens to be this one right here. This will be the password, this will be your username. Now in this situation you're selecting, why is that? Why are you selecting? Because in this one, what you do, see this right here, we could do this Remember I was telling you, you can get one person like Bob or whatever. This will take care of it. But right now what I'm doing is you're doing this, you're reading the whole database, which happens to be Andrew subscribe. That's an actual table I used for somebody else. But I kind of used that name anyway. I did a replica and I used the name. Then what it do is going to count. So if you got 10 rows, you're going to get 10. All right. And then of course, in a what is it called right here? When you do the results, see that result sets. It's going to run your method, which happens to be, where is it? Right here. If it executes it, it gives you, it brings you the whole thing. Then it returns it. That's what this is right here. That's what this is right here. And you're going to go through 10, right? So if you got 10, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to keep it incrementing for numbers. Now in this situation, you want to insert. So of course you're hitting this. You'll find the reason why you're getting it up is you want a number here, and then you're gonna insert your database, that information, plus all the stuff that I put in there, like the agree, which I already gave you, meaning that yes or no. I say 0 yes for 1, 0 for no. That's what this is. So if you go like this, go like this. By the way, I don't have it here right now, but once you do this, it also could send an email. But I don't have it set up right here. All right, so it says user inserted successfully, but what if it don't, then you get an error message. It's not that hard. It's really easy. Once you get to know it, like, oh, I see. This is outside of your class. This is why it looks like a normal way of doing things. And this is your class itself, right? All public, and private stuff, which only this can see, can get to. We're not going to do, what is that? The get and the set for this, because we don't want to do that. We're setting it up here, and we're checking it out. That's it. And we're binding anything for the input part of the script, which is right here. So if you go like this, ID, zone, username, user ID, this would be whatever the number is. The first one, you get the first one, Andrew, blah, blah, blah. You get the second one, whoever it is, the third one, whoever. Depends how many you got in there. And then simple things, just simple thing. And now you want to insert. So you want to insert the address, what is that? The email and the agree and the subname. When I do, hold on one second, I need to check something. Let's go back to the form. Okay, we got the username right here. We got that one, and this gets called by, where is it? Here, username and password, and then you're gonna come here, and you're gonna have your email, your agree, and your subname, which will be the name that you're giving it. The email address is username, password. Okay, that's for that. Then you come here. Then you're going to use the database. You're going to select all of it. Then you're going to break it down here. Every time you put a name, that's going to be the name you're going to put in, which happens to be here. Then comes the email address, which is going to be, I'm missing something. Oh, stop it. right, let's see what we're gonna do. Well, let's get a bit started. The only way I'm gonna find out that I'm doing this right. Let's see. Okay. Let's think of a name. Let's think of I think a name and email address. Email address will be your password. I think it is. Are we using? All right, let's go. Well, we have all these names, but we're not gonna do that. Because if you put a duplicate, it'll do it right now. But you can also set it up so you read the database. If it's in there, then it tells you, sorry, you got that, change it. But we're not doing that. It's just a simple thing, right? So we're gonna do name, and name. Okay. All right. So let's think of a name. Billy. Is there? Let me see. Billy. Remember the martial arts guy? Billy. Let me just say Billy Joe. Billy Joe. Yep. Then we're gonna put I'm gonna say Billy dot Joe at gmail.com. That could be your password too. This can be your password. And boom, there you go. I wrote it. Let me see, did I get my message? Oh, here it goes. Remember that message I was talking? It gave me the last one, I don't know why. But look, user inserted successfully. So if I do, let me see. This is before all this Billy Graham, Business Harris, is Ivan, Karen. What? Why you got a 2 Karen Miller? Yeah, I hit the Karen Miller twice. That's kind of weird. Alright, hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, I see. Here he goes. Billy Joe. And it gave me the names. There it goes. I don't know why it just didn't give it to me the first time. But it needed to be refreshed. So look, Billy Joe. Right there, see? Billy Joe. And then I'm going to give you the passwords I gave it to. So password will probably be it is password. It's a billyjoe.joe. And see this right here, this whole thing? This is the array. And it's giving it to you. This is what gave me that information right here. Once I query, I did the results. Let me see. Let's say results. No, I guess not. Never wrote it down. I was going to put one of those echo things, but that's okay. No big deal. So right here, right, this is the results set, which is right here, this one. You get all the, it fetches the whole thing, which is all this. And the reason why it looks like that, nice and set up like that, because I'm using the pre. Remember the pre tag? This is what gives you the array from the database information like this. If I didn't have that pre, this whole thing would have been all squashed up together. Everything would have been like really close. But the pre tells you, please, you know, it's like making it pretty. But the pre means pre-formatting. So you do pre-format it, then you say what's the user, and this is the results that we got. And then we close it up, and that's what gives you that nice little lined up look of, you know, of the table. And then of course you get this echo of all of them. Remember I told you to read one at a time. What is it? Billy J. Harris, Rudy D. Karen Miller, because I never what is it called? I never check for duplicates. Like in other words, hey, I'm putting a Miller again. And you should go out there, read the database, and actually compare to see if you have that there. If you have that there, then you can leave out a message. You could throw out a message saying, hey, this username we passed, this username exists. I didn't do that here. I'm just trying to show you how you can log in and get this information and you put stuff in there using object-oriented programming. That is that simple. That's all it is. It's really good stuff. If you use this particular thing for yours, just make sure you fix the credential part, okay? Just make sure. What is that noise? Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I think it must have been the dog. I don't know. After I do this, I'm gonna go check. Cause this dog. One day I'm listening to noise, but sometimes how you listen to some few noises. It's a dog. You're thinking that he's fixing the bed, because that's what he does. He fixes bed. You can hear him making that sound because he's using his paw to fix things. So I'm listening, but I'm not really listening. I mean, it's like in the background. And when I go check, that whole bucket of rice was all over the kitchen. Oh man. Oh, it was crazy. So I want to go check because this guy, I don't know, he does things that's... Alright. Anyway, I hope you understood this part. Use it. Just change it. On the other ones, on the other OOP, I'm going to have a section. Maybe I'll do it on this one. I'll add it here. I'll have a section for update too. Like you want to update something. Like I'll have let's see if we can have a, where is it? No, that's not it. It's here. Where is it? Maybe we can have yeah, make sure you put the pornographic stuff. It's something you should do anyway. Make it smaller so people don't, and no, it's the same either. It's probably that one. Let me see. Let's go back. Oh, okay. So what happens is you go like this. You add in the address of the DVD. You do this. You end it up and just use the same thing if you want to do like a membership programming, or if you want to use like to log into your stuff, or if you want to do it to check things out and use this stuff here. So what I'll do is maybe I'll change this to input, right? Then I'll have another button to say update. Remember how we did that on one of those videos where I gave you a template in the beginning of with the information? Remember that? Well, maybe we'll do that here too, or maybe we just have another page that will go, and then from there it'll come to here, and then I'll have something for, of course, we have this. I'll have something for what you might call it, like to delete, or something for the update. Anyway, we reach the bottom. If you did like it, hopefully I didn't confuse you. If you feel confused, just put in the comment, and I'll try to make it trust me, when I do the other object-oriented videos, it's going to be more simple and it's going to be more clear, okay? And then I'll have some explanation and we'll break it down like that. Anyway, this is it. Give me a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And hey, a good night.